Hello, my name is Vicente Caballero. I am the recruitment section chief for the New Mexico Corrections Department.
Good afternoon. My name is Marianne Sarmiento. I am currently the Santa Fe District Supervisor of Region 1 for the Department of Corrections.
We're going to be doing a presentation today on the application and screening process for correctional officer position and probation and parole officer with the New Mexico Corrections Department for the state of New Mexico. Before we get started though, I would like to take the time to thank New Mexico Workforce Connections for allowing us to be here. Thank you for the hard work you did to get us this webinar, and we hope to continue to work with you in the future. So as we get started, the first thing we're going to be talking about is minimum requirements. What does one need to apply for correctional officer and probation and parole officer for the state? So the following minimum requirements are for both, and then we'll talk about some of the requirements special to each of the positions. You must be 18 years of age. There's no upper cap. So the upper age doesn't matter. We just got to make sure that you can complete all the academy and anything of the physical agility requirements for the job. You do have to be a U.S. citizen. You can be a naturalized citizen, so we would have to have that documentation. You have to have a high school diploma or equivalent, no felony convictions, and you do have to have a valid driver's license. If you want to see any of our additional requirements, then you can go to cd.nm.gov.
So when we go into the minimum requirements for a probation and parole officer, we do require the same as Caballero did advise, but we do need also an associate's degree in sociology, psychology, or criminal justice. We are able to use education and experience to qualify for this position. And
as I said earlier, you know, one of the best ideas is to check our website for anything that we did not complete today in this video. Also, there's, as you could tell there, an option for questions. So if you want to write some questions while we're doing this presentation, and then at the end of our presentation, we'll take a few minutes to answer as many of the questions as possible today. But if we do not answer your question, then we're also going to be giving you our contact information so you can contact us directly. And as you can see at the bottom of this slide here, I'm going to mention it again, cd.nm.gov. That is our department website. You do want to go to the careers tab, and it's going to talk to you about both probation and parole and correctional officer. There's social videos on there that will serve the same purpose as today. So for the correctional officer application process, it is a little bit different. So I'm going to talk about correctional officer process just right now. Your first step is going to be to apply online. You do have to go to the state personnel office. That would be www.spo.state.nm.us. You will apply for a correctional officer cadet position on the search. That position will come up. One of the things that you should know is that position is going to be stated for Santa Fe. So don't worry about that. Put in your application, and then when you come in for your screening, and once you're selected and come in for your screening, then you get to select what facility you want to work for and where in the state you want to work for. We'll talk a little bit about how many facilities we have. Our screening process after your application is a 2-day screening process. We do it every Tuesday and Wednesday at the Academy in Santa Fe. Once you pass your screening and are selected for employment, then you have to be referred to your hiring facility with the HR. They will do a drug screening and a medical physical assessment. One of the changes from not too long ago is the fact that when you get selected and are sent the email letting you know that you were selected for employment, we will also send you the documentation so that you can perform your own physical with your personal physician before you get hired.
As a probation and parole officer, the application process also follows that you apply online at the www.spo.state.nm.us. You will see the tab for probation and parole officer, and that is where you will select. The very difference between the CO and the probation and parole officer is that you will pick a specific area, an office that you would like to work. We do have a 2-day screening process at the New Mexico Correctional Training Academy as well. You will be hired by HR staff, drug screening, medical assessment, and this is a 6-week academy with a certification. You are also required to get a physical from your own doctor as well.
Let's go back to talking about the 2-day screening process a little bit. As I mentioned before, this screening process is in Santa Fe at the New Mexico Corrections Academy. If you go back to that website that we've been talking about, there's a map that you can follow to get there, and there's also instructions on how to search. As some applicants sometimes have issues with like the Google option and things like that. So we have put a map so that you can get there properly. So to complete the screening packet, you can go on the website, you can go to the careers tab and just go to the screening packet. You'll have to download it, complete it, email it to us, which gets the process started. And then we will either contact you to make an appointment for you to come in for screening, or you can contact us as soon as you submit your file. You're going to be taken to a full background investigation. We will be looking at education. We will be looking at criminal activity. We'll be looking at drugs, any sort of thing like that to do with your background. You are going to be also taking a polygraph examination. The polygraph examination is a set of questions that we asked through professionals to every single applicant. So it's done to everybody. Also, fingerprints will be taken on the first day, and you're going to be doing a psychological written testing. On the second day, then you would just return for about an hour for an interview with our local counselor there at the academy. You would complete that 2-day process. Once you are chosen for an academy, then as you can see on this slide, there's possibilities there for an agility standard. The reason we have it there is because up to recent policy changes, our standard was an entrance standard. It is now an exit standard. So that means you don't have to do this physical agility test in the beginning. You will have the opportunity to train during the 8 weeks or 6 weeks that you're going to the academy, and that would help you better achieve this. You do have to do 16 push-ups in 60 seconds or under. You do have to do a 300 meter in 80 seconds or less, 18 sit-ups under 1 minute, and a mile run in 12 minutes and 22 seconds. This is graduation requirements. So this test would be performed for you a few days before graduation, and you would have or be required to pass this before you receive your certification. This is both for corrections and probation and parole. Once you have completed your 2-day screening process, then basically we will contact you and we will send you either an acceptance letter or a denial letter. This will all be done either through mail or email, and at some points it can be done through both. So once you get chosen for a correctional officer academy, this is a 8-week academy. You do get paid as soon as you start the academy. So once you get selected for a cadet position, your pay rate will be $15.55. You will be paid from the day you start the academy all the way to the day you graduate. We do pay for lodging. The academy is a stay academy. You have to stay in Santa Fe for those 8 weeks. So we would pay for your lodging there. We would pay for your meals, and we would provide your uniforms while they're there. Any other materials that you need for the training will also be supplied. And you would be running a 10-hour shift That would be Monday through Thursday, I'm sorry, and Thursdays after 5 o'clock, you get released. You can go home and recharge the batteries, come back next week ready to go. Along with the 8-week basic training, we do offer a certification by waiver program. And basically all this program is based to accept your training from other facilities or other states. So let's say you were a correctional officer from Arizona. You spent 5 years going through their career, and you went to their academy, and you have to move to New Mexico for some reason. Instead of you having to go to our entire academy, you could do an accelerated 3-week academy with us, where we take your previous training into consideration. You do have to show that you had at least 160 hours of basic training. No OJT or in-service training accepted within those 160 hours. It is paid. You do have the availability for uniforms and meals while you're going there. The only difference between this course is you do not have to remain at the academy or stay there unless you need it. And you do get paid from the beginning. The other difference is this is a Monday through Friday schedule. It is 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Once graduates from the basic correctional academy become correctional officers, their pay rate increases to $18.75 an hour. So every facility that you go to work to after that is $18.75 an hour.
So now that we're going into the probation and parole, it is a 6-week academy. The basic pay is $20.08 per hour starting pay. They may go home on a daily basis. It is usually Monday through Friday in 8-hour shifts. Meals are provided and lodging if needed. They are the same requirements as the correctional officers as far as needing an exit exam for your physical agility.
One of the really good areas about corrections on the correctional officer side is the fact that the corrections department holds 7 state facilities through the state. They do operate on different shifts, 8-hour shifts or 12-hour shifts. As I explained earlier, when you initially apply for the cadet position, it's set for Santa Fe. And once you come in to do your screening, then you let us know where it is that you want to work. I'm going to run through those facilities and kind of tell you a little bit about the shifts. So if you're talking about facilities that run 8-hour shifts, that would be Central New Mexico Correctional Facility in Los Lunas, New Mexico. We also have Springer Correctional Center in Springer, New Mexico, and Southern New Mexico Correctional Facility in Las Cruces. Those are facilities that are running 8-hour shifts. For 12-hour shifts, which would be 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. or 6 p.m. to 6 a.m., is Western New Mexico Correctional Facility in Grants, Penitentiary of New Mexico in Santa Fe, Northeastern New Mexico Correctional Facility in Clayton, New Mexico, and Roswell Correctional Center in Roswell. One of the differences about the shifts is if you are working the night shift, there is a 60 cents differential. So on top of the $18.75, if you were working the night shift, you would make an additional 60 cents an hour.
So when we talk about probation and parole, it is a little bit different than the facility. We do have 4 regions in the state of New Mexico. Each region has district offices. There are 33 in the whole state of New Mexico. Region 1 would be Santa Fe. Region 2 would be Albuquerque. Region 3 would be Deming, Las Cruces, and Region 4 would be Roswell. You do have the opportunity to apply at any specific district office, and this is where you would be located for your place of duty. For our benefits, our correctional officers do have a 25-year retirement plan through PARA, as well as our probation and parole officers have a 30-year retirement plan through PARA. We have full medical, dental, vision. We have paid leave, which is the 10 holidays paid, 1 personal day. 12 days of annual leave, 10 days of sick leave, and we have many promotional opportunities. All our uniforms, equipment, training needed for the job duties are provided for this career. As a probation and parole officer, you have promotional opportunities from a probation and parole officer 1, which handles a generalized caseload, and a probation and parole officer 2 that handles a more specialized case unit.
On the correctional officer promotion opportunities, you're going to begin your career as a cadet. Then after the 8 weeks of training, you get a promotion to correctional officer. You can be a correctional officer for 18 months and immediately apply for a sergeant's position. These are competitive positions, so there would be many applicants and they would get chosen on an interview type of job. After you have been a sergeant for 2 years, and you can become a lieutenant. And after lieutenant, there's rank a captain and major. And so there's many opportunities also within the corrections department as a correctional officer. And every time you are promoted, of course, your wages are increased. So that's the information that we have to give you. One of the things that we want to make notice today is the fact that a lot of the times through these events, it's hard to answer everybody's questions. As I said, we're going to be doing a question answering session here in a few minutes, but I wanted to give you more information as far as our recruitment section for the state. So as I said, I'm the section chief. My name is Vicente Caballero. You can email me directly at vicente.caballero@state.nm.us. You can call me or text me at 505-259-9856. And you can also contact our state recruiter. Her name is Yesenia Ramirez, yesenia.ramirez@state.nm.us, or you can contact her directly by cell phone, 505-270-9787. You can contact us. We do run a Monday through Friday shift, 8 to 5. So if you want to leave voicemails after hours, we will contact you the next day. Great idea for contacting us is email, because we can send you a lot more information through email that's comprehensive with links for you to go look at. The best idea for answering some of these questions also is our website that we have been repeating through the presentation. One of the other things is that I wanted just to mention is the fact that, you know, we also have other administrative positions that you can find on the SPO website. So if you wanted to work for like a nursing contractor or education, or you wanted to be a caseworker or something like that, you can go look at our SPO website again, www.spo.state.nm.us, and apply for those positions. We do not recruit for those positions or really hire, but they are available for everybody else that might be interested. Okay, so we're gonna take some time to answer some of those questions that have been coming in, so stay tuned with us.
Do you encourage females to apply, and are the standards the same for males and females?
So no, I'll take the second part of the question. The standards are the same. There is no difference. The job requirements on the probation and parole side and the correctional officer are also the same. So the job that you would be doing as a male correctional officer and a female correctional officer are the same. There are variations. We do have female population facilities and male population facilities. So in either or, there's certain cases where as a male officer, you couldn't do certain duties, or as a female officer, but the requirements, the pay, the possibilities for employment are all the same. But I'm gonna leave it here to Marianne because she can give you a lot better personal.
And that also goes for probation and parole officers as well. You are required to meet the same standards of the job duty. However, there are instances where a female cannot handle a male individual for certain circumstances as well as a male in a female situation.
Do you encourage females to apply?
We definitely encourage females to apply. Probation and parole has seen a heavy increase on female applicants. Right now, we currently have a probation and parole basic academy underway, and I would say out of 26 individuals, about half of them are female.
What are your most common disqualifiers?
So as far as the disqualifiers, normally background will be something, criminal activity, drugs, but our most common disqualifier is one that is more personal, omission. A lot of people will omit information on their application. They will fail to tell us about certain events that happen in their life. Most of the time is out of nervousness because they think that if they tell us about that behavior that happened or that event, that it would be disqualified. So a lot of the times the event that they're trying to hide would not have been a disqualifier, and what ended up disqualifying the person would be the fact that they decided to omit it. So I would just say, take the process as serious as possible, be as honest as you can, and we give us the decision on whether you meet the criteria to be a correctional officer or probation and parole officer.
How long do I have to wait if I already applied and was denied? Or can I reapply?
So how long do you have to wait? If you were denied, most of the time you're going to be given a 1-year period before you can reapply again. We will send you a denial letter document that will give you instructions on what to do. If you failed some type of the process, sometimes you don't even get to finish the entire process, because during the 2-day screening we discovered that one of the things that came up was a disqualifier. So we will stop you at that time. We will tell you what you need to do, either come back at a later date when you meet that disqualifier, or we would give you that 1-year lay period before you can reapply.
What safety measures are you taking with our current pandemic?
So right now, as you see, we're wearing masks. As far as the recruitment section is concerned, we have begun to do no in-person recruitment. We're doing nothing but events like this. You start seeing webinars. We do still do our screening process at the Corrections Academy every 2 weeks. But we are taking precautions. We make sure we have protective equipment for everybody if they didn't bring it. We are checking people as they come in for temperature, asking questions about how they feel. Within the classrooms, we're making sure that they are social distancing, and the New Mexico Corrections Training Academy has made a lot of investments money-wise to get protective equipment and sanitizing equipment that a lot of places don't have. So we have minimized the amount of people that are coming in. So make sure that you make an appointment with us, because we would hate to have you come in and not be able to accommodate you. The other thing that I could tell you is it has influenced in our out-of-state applicants. So if you are an out-of-state applicant, based on the restrictions that are placed right now, you would have to self-quarantine within the state for 14 days. And we're also requiring that you show proof of a negative test within the last 72 hours before you come in. That would also be in play if you're an in-state applicant but have traveled outside the state, then you would have to self-quarantine also.
And just on the probation and parole side, if hired for a probation and parole officer, we are still supervising individuals. We have modified it to where we are having a lot of in the field visits with our individuals, so that we don't have the contact in our office as much, and the social distancing, the masks, we're checking temperatures of our individuals, ensuring that they're safe as well.
Does prior experience and education affect your pay?
For a probation and parole officer, yes, if you are coming in with certain education, certain degrees, you can negotiate your pay.
There are only a couple correctional positions where you could negotiate pay. Those are called correctional officer specialists that work on the maintenance department. So because you will be working with inmates, you also have to be a certified correctional officer to hold these positions. So, and you also have to have some type of license, maybe HVAC or electrician or maybe locksmith. So you can negotiate pay in those cases. Those are recruited differently. As far as the correctional officer experience, the only time we're going to count previous experience is for the certification by waiver program, or CBW, where we reduce your training. But as far as the minimum pay for correctional officers is going to be the same for everybody applying from the start.
How many positions do you have open for correctional officers and probation and parole officers in Bernalillo County?
So one of the good things about Bernalillo County and this area is the fact that we have 3 facilities that are within about 45 minutes of commute. So if you leave in the Bernalillo, Rio Rancho, Albuquerque area, you have Central New Mexico Correction Facility, which is south. You have Western New Mexico in Grants. Central is in Los Lunas. And then you have PNM, Penitentiary of New Mexico in Santa Fe, which is all within about 45 minutes of commute. So we are looking for just between those 3 facilities alone, we have anywhere from 50 to 100 positions that we could fill. So do remember we have 4 other facilities. So at least for correctional officer, those are those possibilities.
For probation and parole, it's a little hard to answer that question due to the requirements of the hiring process. There can be an opening as of yesterday or as of today. So when it comes to probation and parole, you really just need to look at our website to see what is available in your area.
What is the interview process? Is it a panel? Is it via Zoom?
For the correctional officer position, there is not a job interview per se. You will have, as I mentioned, within the 2-day screening process, an interview with one of our counselors at the academy, but that is more of a interview that results from your psychological testing. It's an interview that's to get to know you better, talk about your life experiences, and get to see how you fit that correctional officer criteria that we're looking for. As far as Zoom, because of the pandemic, we are using some technology that's allowing us to do some of these interviews. Our psychologists are able to see people remotely through different technological systems. So yeah, we have started to use that, but as a job interview, we do not have one at this time.
For probation and parole, it is a job interview. Once you select the area that you want to work in, we will contact you and set up an interview. We do the in-person interview still, but we do the precautions because of COVID-19 with the temperature check, the masks, the social distancing in the interview room, and there is usually a panel of 2 individuals.
All right, well, I would like to take some time again to thank New Mexico Workforce Connections for helping us out, having us here. I would like to thank anybody that took the time to be here with us today. Again, I would like to remind you about our information and the link, the website. If we didn't answer any of your questions, give us a call, send us a text, email us, go back to the website. The cd.nm.us, there's a video on there that will explain the process that we just went through all over again if you need to hear it. I would just like to say thank you to all of you guys.
Thank you, everybody.